Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different, something special. Welcome back to another broadcast here on the CranKy Ducklings. Welcome to the Infolet League number 2 playoffs. I'm, of course, your Live VIP with you. I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat, by these amazing players, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to a Polish team league. Again, the Infolet League has been running for the past month. We have not been able to cover the group stage, unfortunately, but we were able to go over it during the podcast. During the podcast, we'd go over the group stage week by week by week. For those that are curious, this is more of a fun kind of team league here in the off season of StarCraft. Basically, there was a drafting process, captains were assigned, and they were able to pick and choose their players, pick and choose their team through said draft process. We had a wide pool of Polish players, I believe 4 teams in total, but now we are here in the playoffs. We're here in the semifinals. We're going to be covering the semifinals, having a bit of a break, and then jumping into the grand finals thereafter. Now, there are some caveats to how the structure of this team league works. One, of course, you can expect some high-tier players like Gerald, like Krystianer, like PAPI, like Art, like Snoxtar, and many, many others. But if a player did exceed a certain amount of MMR, then they did have to off-race. So there is that caveat. I believe it's 6k. I believe if a player is over 6k MMR, then they would have to off-race. So because of that, players like Gerald, players like Krystianer did have to off-race. They did have to off-race, and that does throw everything like up in the air. Because if you got your best players off-racing, then, I mean, how's it gonna go? We'll see. We shall see. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm also looking forward to the theme here of tonight's maps as well. I think Kuro was kind of teasing everyone earlier as well. Can't wait for Light to read the oh, that's not gonna happen. oh no. God no. But let us switch our scenes over and have a look at the matches that are ready for us here in those semifinals. Oh my god, from the top we have our 2 teams facing off, and it is going to be a best of 7. It's going to be a best of 7 here. I believe best of 7, and all, regardless of the score, I believe all matches are going to be played out. So we do have quite a lot of matches ready for us. To kick things off, we do have Skunixx versus Feomatar. Calmo versus Serafit. We have Art versus Gerald. That is a matchup you should be familiar with. We have a 2v2 in the middle of the matchup with Art and PAPI versus Gerald and Nanian. We have INno versus Flexy, PAPI versus Krystianer, and Kret versus Snoxtar. I don't know if you can see, I know it's a little bit small on screen, but Krystianer is off-racing as Zerg, and Gerald is off-racing as Terran. I love the idea that both Gerald and Krystianer were seeded, or I should say were drafted onto the same team. They are, I would say, the best Protoss players in Poland, but they have to off-race. They cannot play Protoss, they have to flex their off-races instead. Also, I hope you're ready for a trip, for a bit of a train ride, if you will. And if you notice, the maps are quite thematic. We have game 1 on Radisson Station, game 2 on Proxima Station, game 3 Habitation Station, game 4 Infestation. I love that one. It's good. Game 5 King Sejong Station, game 6 Vani Research Station, and game 7 Dasan Station. Oh boy. So yep, strap yourselves in. We're going for a train ride. Oh, there's no brakes on this train, Pappy. Let's go. Oh my god. I didn't realize there were so many stations in StarCraft, but sure. Makes sense. We'll see where we land. We'll see where we get off. I like trains. My favorite one is Infestation. I love it. They were like going through all the 2v2 maps and like, there's no station. What do we do? Infestation, Pappy. It's beautiful. Also, thank you so much for those that are wishing us our partner anniversary. I believe the partner anniversary, I think, was actually yesterday, but it's still within 24 hours. So thank you so much. It's been quite a number of years since then, so we do appreciate the support. Shout out to all those in the chat as well. I see Nikiju, I see Pecoeta, Shema, Papi Shema. I see Psycons as well. Kuro, Baby Links, ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Rero as well. Good to see you all. And again, I look forward to jumping into this. Also, similar to Chobo Team League, each of these rounds is MMR locked in a way. So, for example, round 1 is players under 3.5k MMR, round 2, 4.4k MMR, etc., etc. So, there is sort of restrictions to some of these matchups to have these even set of players, these even skill players facing off against each other, or more or less even skill players. Oh boy. So let's go. Let us go. Game 1 is going to be on Razza Station. Oh, it hasn't been too long since we've been on this map. It's a relatively recent map from, what, 2022 into 2023. A couple of seasons ago, this was in the map pool, and we will jump into that first game. Oh boy. Was it just a year since? Or maybe, I guess a year? Question mark? I don't know. No idea. Here we go. Infolet. Oh yes, Infolet, of course, they're a Polish sponsor, and they have been hosting these monthly events from time to time, but now we are jumping into the team leader they have hosted and organized, and here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner. In the bottom right, we have the Polish Terran player, the Green Terran, representing Clan MY Fixed and his team. His team. It is Feomatar. Fail. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Polish Zerg player, the Pink Zerg, representing CSO Esports. It is Skunixx. Obrońcy? Is that Obrońcy? Maybe Team Obrońcy against Team Burzowi? Is that an I? Yo, that's the most you're gonna get out of me. But we're here. We have arrived at our first stop. We arrived at our first station, Razza Station. Let's go. It's gonna be a long trip. You know, we're traveling across Poland, across the world. Let's go. And for those that are curious, for those that are maybe newer viewers of the channel and new viewers of StarCraft, Razza Station was in the map pool not too long ago, again a year ago, maybe just over a year ago, and it was a heavily viewed map of the map pool. Very large, a lot of bases, and very often, oh my god, you can take this pocket in base as well. You have a pocket natural or pocket third, so very often we would see very greedy builds on this map, and you would wall off on 3 bases, you'd wall off on 4 bases, you cut the map in half, enter the late game, and it could be quite difficult to break a defending player on this map. We have goal bases as well that you can take advantage of. Some players would otherwise expand towards their pocket, break through and mine through these minerals, and then take the gold as a fourth instead. You have options with how you want to expand, but again, it's been a while. It has been a while since we have embraced this map, and we are in the 3.5k MMR section of the best of 7. For now, we do have a Rax Expand standard opener here from Fail. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have Skunixx going for his own hatch gas pool. So everything is looking normal so far. Everything's looking standard. I'm not too fond of all-ins on this map either. I mean, there's a ramp coming into the natural. On top of that, if you defend, you can also take a secure third base as well. So trying to go for these 2-base all-ins can be quite difficult. Usually on other maps, when you go for a 2-base all-in or 2.5 base all-in, you have options to hit the third or hit the natural base and try to pull your opponent apart. That is not the case here on Razza Station. That is why it is that much easier to defend against aggressive play and to make it into a longer game state. So we'll see if that's the case. For now, Reaper dips in, just getting read what's going on, does confirm the excess gas actually from our Zerg player. Okay, and I believe the Reaper did confirm this. Now, typically you would not mind extra gas in this kind of game state unless you were going for it all. There we, oh, he knows. Let's go. I was gonna say unless you're going for something crazy. I was gonna say fast Roach Warren, fast Baneling Nest, or fast Lair. It is going to be the fast Lair, still mining gas, by the way, so this could be a couple different things. Ooh, as the Reaper goes down, this could be a Nidus-based all-in. There is an Overlord across the map, but there's no Overlord here on the right-hand side, but Nidus-based all-in would make sense. Could be something like 2-base Muta. We have seen that on Razza Station. If all 4 gases are taken, could just go for a Spire and could just go 2-base Muta. We could be seeing some Swarm Host play with a fast Infestation Pit. Again, there are options here. With the extra gas, with the wall being attempted, I'm leaning towards Spire. I'm leaning towards Mutas, but we'll see. Keep an eye on Skunixx. As for now, the gas is being prioritized. There's no tech structure. We could have already seen a Roach Warren by now if it was going to be something like Roaches. Yep, there we go. Extra gases. With this much gas, it has to be the Spire, right? There it is, 2-base muta. So Skunixx is going 2-base muta. Meanwhile, across the map, while I've been focusing on our Zerg player, our Terran player did go 3CC 111 into BC. Interesting. Now, this is kind of odd from our Terran player. Not the fact that he's going BC, but the fact that he's going 3CC BC. Because of the fast third command center, it's very economic, but it also means that the BC is going to be delayed. Because the starport was delayed, I mean, everything is going to be a little bit later here because of the faster command center. So it's not the most aggressive variation of Battlecruiser opener. Because of that, the Zerg player has more time. Meanwhile, Scan is the main. Ooh, Scan reveals the Spire. And as these two builds face off against each other, I think I want to favor Skunixx. I mean, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. Oh, he's good. Does have in control. Love to hear it. But Skunixx, if he realized what was going on, he could make corruptors, right? He could just go straight into corruptor production and just shut down those BCs. I mean, a decent amount of mutas can deal with one BC. True, that's also possible. And mutas should be on the horizon. Meanwhile, across the map, Fusion Core is done, and the first battlecruiser's on the way. Second factory as well. It's going to be BC into mech. Makes sense. Mech was very prevalent and very common on Radisson Station, so it makes sense to fall back on that here. Despite it being so many years later, it makes sense. Does make sense. Meanwhile, Roach Warren is on the way, so I'm curious if these two players are familiar with each other. Skunixx has not seen the production, he has not seen all the factories, but going into Roach play would make a lot of sense if he was aware of the potential for mech. And no mutas. Wait, what? Wait. Okay, so on the one hand, Fail, our Terran player did scan, right? Remember, he did scan, he did see the Spire, and Skunixx knows that he got scouted, so because of that, he does not make any mutas. I'm assuming that that's what's happening right now. Hellions, they hit the natural, Queens are in position, Roaches are amassing. The Hellions do confirm that there is Roach production, they get eyes on the production, they see the researching here on the Roach Warren as well. And these BCs are going to have potential. Of course, Skunixx can reactively make corruptors to deal with them, true. So the BCs, they shouldn't be able to end the game. As the first battlecruiser has arrived, second battlecruiser's in production. Yamato was not researched, bear that in mind. Oh no, oh no, oh there's an SCV trapped! No! You can see there, in between the mineral patches and the depot. Feels SCV, man, so there is a trapped worker. He'll be safe. Oh, he lets it free! He notices! No! Like, I think it was like blocking it further in. Oh my god, he's putting it to work. Let's go. Throwing down additional depots. First BC's on the way. Nice swarm here from Skunixx. Did barely saturate his third. He's down in workers, down in saturation. The Terran player has the better economy, which is terrifying to have a Terran player, sorry, a meching player up in economy against a Zerg. And we'll see if Skunixx can bounce back. For now, he's massing out more Roaches. Got his Nidus one ready. Does have an Overlord here at the natural. And we'll see if he can go for it. If he can go for the kill. He's moving out across the map. BC has arrived. Ooh, and the Roaches, they do respond. Okay, they respond here to the Hellions. Hellions are cleaned up. Queens, they respond to the Battlecruiser. Only 3 drone kills so far, but Skunixx, he's got to go. Meanwhile, across the map, what is it to defend? No tanks. There's he has 0 tank production. Thor's instead. Thor's, a couple of Hellions as 1 BC. This Roach Ravager army has some potential, but I mean, Thors are quite tanky. If Fail is able to pull the boys fast enough and repair the Thor and keep his BC at home, I think he's going to be okay. Meanwhile, the Roach Ravager has arrived, and we'll see if he can hold on. We'll see if he can survive. Yeah, BC teleports back home. Biles, they graze the army. They graze one of the Thors. But with the return of the BC, the Roach Ravager has to back up, has to retreat. That takes down the Hellions at least. Biles, they up! Ooh, don't quite connect. Second battlecruiser does come into play. And again, Skunixx, the worker count is really concerning to me. Like, he can afford some corruptors. No, not even. He can't even afford any corruptors. Made some more Roach Ravager. Oh, the Queens have arrived instead. Let's go. There's only 2 Queens. There we go. Clutch Transfuse. Queens get live, mules are being thrown down, but with the Roach Ravager Queen, Skunixx, he can pull this off. Can pull this off? The BC is taking a lot of hits. 1 BC goes down. So very nicely down here by Skunixx again. He's all in. He's completely all in. Like, he does not have an economy behind this. Takes down both Thors. And what is there left? There's 2 Hellions. Now we get into tank production, but these tanks are late. Yeah, tank production was delayed. Oof. Again, the Thor production from the Terran was kind of blindly countering mutas that never arrived. They never came. And Skunixx, he has done it. He has broken the natural. Gets into the mineral line. The Lyles. Oh, they take down the BC. No battle cruisers left. GG gets called, and Skunixx will take game number 1. GG. Gets 19 SCVs, breaks the natural as well. Again, it was interesting. If you recall, just winding it back a little bit, if you recall, Fail, he was able to scout, he was able to confirm roach production. Remember, he checked the wall, he saw the roach horn researching. Despite that, he still blindly was countering mutas. He still had BC, he was making Thors, he was throwing down turrets as well. He was just hyper fixated on anti-muta as his army composition, which meant that he was kind of vulnerable to the Roach Ravager. As we mentioned, as we exclaimed, there were no tanks. There were no tanks initially to defend. There were tanks at the end, but by then it was too late. So this anti-ground army for the Terran was lacking. And in the end, Skunixx was able to break through. But shout out to Skunixx because he was able to reinforce with the Queens. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the Nidus Queen reinforcements, then the BCs would have cleaned everything up. So really nicely done there by the Zerg player. Does take game 1, but that was merely only game 1. Oh boy. Okay, that was our first stop. We just dropped Fail off at Radisson Station. I like to believe we're dropping the losing player off at these stations. They've got places to be, places to go. Oh no. And up next, we're going to be heading over to a very different station, a much older station. We're going to be heading over to Proxima Station. Oh boy. When was Proxima Station in the map? Well, I want to say, was this like 2016? Hold on. Proxima Station. No, or was it before that? Let's find out. Let's find out as we're jumping into our next game. 2017. Okay. I was a year off. So not quite 2016. It was January of 2017. So it's been quite some time. Been what, over 7 years? Jesus. Crazy. But now we're getting to our second match, into our second map, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Proxima Station, we have there we go. We have our Polish Protoss player, the Purple Protoss, representing Clan TBD and Team Burzowi. It is Serafit. Team Void. Okay. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Polish Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Obrońcy. Obrońcy? It is Calmo. He is Skunixx's teammate. He does have a 1-0 lead here, thanks to Skunixx, of course. His team has a 1-0 lead. And welcome one and all to Proxima. Oh, I have to get rid of the turtle. Oh no. Hello, Pat. Hello. Good to see you. Esther Turtle. Welcome one and all to Proxima Station. Now, Proxima Station does have a pocket base as well. There's something about these train stations, mate. They all got these pocket bases. Aye. But there is an in-base pocket here. Of course, there are some rocks, both leading into the natural and leading into the third base, or the pocket base and the natural base, depending on how you want to look at it. So you can try to harass here at a later game stage. But likewise, this corridor can be quite difficult to traverse, to get behind enemy lines, to get into these bases. We'll see if that's going to be the case here from the side of Serafit. Likewise, we do have additional rocks here on the left. Likewise, to also gain access to this left-hand side of the map. If the rocks are not cleaned up, then Calmo can turtle and can expand quite nicely. That goes for both players, both Turtle and Serafit. Serafit expanding here at his pocket, and Calmo, I imagine, doing the same. Yep, so Rax expand here out of our Terran. Likewise, Gate expand out of Serafit as well. Now, what's interesting is that the Terran player, Calmo, he does not go for an SCV scout. No SCV scout, and he also skips the Reaper as well. So he's cutting corners. He's being quite greedy. Going Marine first into the reactor, into, I would imagine, a factory. We'll see how greedy he wants to be from here. Meanwhile, it's been a while. We do have some gold bases available here. I do remember a lot of players actually taking this gold base as their fourth, even as their third at times. You can knock down these rocks and establish this position, set up some siege lines, set up some SimCity as well to try to defend and try to secure this place. I also do recall a lot of fights, a lot of encounters here towards the center of the map as well. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's a blast from the past. Hello, SCV. Proxy starport? Looks to be the case. So it is going to be racks into oh, actually, never mind. I would assume proxy starport, but there's no add-on swap ready for the factory. What I'm referring to is that usually you would add-on swap the factory onto the reactor to reactor out Hellions as quickly as possible, and then go for the proxy starport. There we go, starport's on the way. That means that Hellion production is going to be a little bit delayed here, which means this might not be a medevac. Interesting. So I was assuming it was going to be reactored Hellion into a Hellion drop, right? Hellions move out across the map, they meet up with the medevac, they get dropped into the mineral line, and they roast up some probes. As we scan the main base, and Calmo has confirmed the Twilight Council opener. Should be Blink, could be DTs. But with the lack of factory production, this could be Proxy Liberator, I would assume. Let's see. This is when he goes for like a tech lab into like Cloak Banshee. Oh god. Okay, never mind. He is going for a tech lab. He's not going to be Proxy Cloak Banshee. He's going to be Proxy BC. He's doing his best Gumiho impression. Ay. For those that remember, it was earlier this year, maybe last year. I'm trying to think back. What map was it on? Oh god. He did it in GSL. I want to say last year GSL, maybe November. But we did see Gumiho embrace this. I think it was last year. We did see Gumiho go Proxy BC and make it work at the highest level of play. Has done so in recent times, in recent years. Calmo, he's kind of working towards it as well. I want to say that Gumiho even went Proxy 2 port BC. I want to say he did it on Data C. I could be mistaken. Wait, what? Wait. Wait, what is this? What is happening? Oh, okay, no tech lab. He's going range. He's rushing range lib. Proxy range liber. Where's Yaku? Oh my god. We always, whenever there's a fusion core, like we're always like, oh, it could be range lib Kappa. Like it never is. It never is like a range lib rush, but he's crazy. I've never seen anyone do this. It's always been theoretical. It's always just been a meme. But okay. He's an animal. My god. So yeah, so proxy lib and a ranged lib rush here from Calmo. We'll see how we can make use of it. I mean, there is some dead space here in between the bases, no shot. There is a chance that he can find a position here to deny mining at both the pocket and the main base and not be punished at all by Blink Stalkers. And there's no starport, there's no Stargate. Like, does this just end the game? Does he just win? Oh no. God. Look away, Papi, look away. Back at home, the Observer does confirm that it's going to be bio production. We have extra Raxes on the way, bio. The Observer should take note, no starport. The fact that there's a starport missing and these Raxes are so late, that should be a tell. That should be a tell that there's a proxy starport somewhere on the map. Meanwhile, Liberators have arrived and Advanced Ballistics has been researched. And I don't think the Sorgers can do anything about this. We'll see. Are they within range? Yep. No, they can't. They can't shoot. Oh no. And just like that, zero mining here at the pockets, and mining in the main base is going to be disrupted as well, at least on these two mineral patches. A lot of probes are going to be going down, and I guess Stalkers cannot touch these Liberators. You need Stargates. Oh no. And I mean, at least the probe is actually barely oh god, Jesus. One of the probes able to barely mine from one of these patches. That's going to be 7 probe kills. Oh my god, more probes going to be going down. And back at home, Calmo, he just has to chill, just has to defend. As a third Liberator has arrived, this might even be able to siege up towards these patches here from the north without being hit. It's hard to say. Oh god. And fun fact, this is this is also, they can't reach. They can't reach. Smooch. This is something that we actually talked about last night. If you were here for the podcast, I was having a discussion with Yaku, and we were upset, we were frustrated with the fact that that the most recent patch notes, they initially were going to remove ranged libs and make them a little bit more, and reduce that, would take that away and make the Liberator reticles or the liberation zones larger instead, which would be a good thing because it does mean that something like this will not be possible. And then they reverted it. They reverted the change, and we're like, well, what's going on? Like, what's happening right now? Like, what are you guys doing? And yeah, because of that, well, I mean, this is the world we live in. It's Jesus. Stargate is on the way. Calmo's moving out. Serafit, he's on like 1.5 base economy because again, there's no mining here at the pocket. There's, I mean, there is like 3/4 mining here in the main at least. So just under 2 base economy here for Serafit. The main army of Calmo is moving out. Calmo is pushing him. He's getting caught on siege though. The tanks. Yeah, he gets caught out. First tank goes down. Second tank goes down. The third tank's going to go down as well. So Calmo, he was late to set up. That was the best fight that Serafit could have hoped for. The best fight. Army stims in. Up. Takes down a couple of zealots. There's that overcharge. Serafit, again, he's holding. He killed 3 tanks, and with that, Calmo, he might back off. He will check the goal, though, and he should deny it. The goal base will allow Serafit to recover and to bounce back. Calmo pulling away. His own production has been a little bit lackluster. He's just now saturating his own third. And Serafit, he's in this. He gets another tank. Another tank goes down. Another tank does fall. Meanwhile, these libs are still getting some kills. Stargate is now done. Aha. And from here, Calmo, he can just chill. He has a 20 worker lead. Getting into 2 more starports, building up more marines, this time with marauders as well. 1-1 is on the way. Dark Shroud is in production. I mean, Serafit, again, he's still in this game. He can still go for some DT harass. The goal base is also helping him, you know, recover and just helping him tread water. He's still behind, though. Serafit, he's still behind, and I don't think he can push in. Oh, this is not the play. Not like this. The tanks are sieged. Yeah, the tanks are pre-sieged. This time a better start here for the Terran. No. We need to send this to ESL. But yeah, if you were here for the discussion we had on the podcast yesterday, we were talking about how one of the big reasons why originally ranged libs was going to be removed from the game was because it was limiting map creation and map makers from making maps, because they would always have to consider things like this and to try to reduce this as much as possible, reduce ranged libs from disrupting mining in these bases and allowing the terrain to have stalkers and other ground-based units like queens deal with this as well. So that was like a big thing, or a big push for removing something like ranged libs and having an alternative to ranged libs instead. And then they just got rid of it. They they didn't even like tweak with the size of the liberation zones. They didn't even try to mess around with like maybe making it a little bit smaller than what they proposed initially, or maybe having like another answer to the problem. But yeah, they just reverted it instead. They were like, you know what, we can't be bothered doing the math. It's like, okay. Thanks for that. As Calmo does move out, he's maxed. He's almost maxed out at this point. DTs, they can get some damage done. If there's no scan, then... oh, never mind. There is a scan. Liberators, they meet up with the main army as well. The freedom is here. There's too much freedom, papi. Too much freedom. Calmo, he stims in, takes out the stalkers. GG gets called. And Calmo will take game number 2. GG. GG. With proxy ranged lib. What an animal. GG, well played. Also, thank you so much to Quinton in the chat. Glasses, puppy glasses. Gaga. Thank you so much for the 200 bits. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. And with that, I mean, proxy on Proxima Station, makes sense. You know, it makes sense. It's in line with this train station, at least with this stop. We're going to be dropping Serafit off, and now we have our next destination. Where do we go from here? Up next, you know what it is. It is the tried and true. It is Habitation Station. Let's go. Oh my god. I miss it. Habitation Station, for those who are unaware, I think this was in the map pool for like almost 2 years. Maybe even more than that. This was in the map pool for a very, very long time. The reason why this was in the map pool for so long is because I believe Habitation Station was in the last map pool of Heart of the Swarm, and then was ported into Legacy, and then it was in the first map pool of Legacy of the Void as well. So it was in like 2 seasons from like one expansion to the other. Habitation Station was there for a very, very long time, and is infamously the map. It's one of the, I think it's ranked as one of the best games played, or one of the best games in StarCraft 2 history, which I believe was in Red Bull Battlegrounds, which was Bomber versus Scarlet. Ah, god. Am I misremembering? I believe that should be this map, Habitation Station. Yeah, it is. I still think of this map very often. Like, this was such an iconic map in the history of StarCraft. So iconic. So many intense games were played on this map as well. And again, it was around for a long time. And we're back. This is also, for those that remember, this is also the map, not just with Scarlet versus Bomber. This is also the map that that did introduce and did popularize the Gangnam Terran build. For those that remember, we'll get into it. For now, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Habitation Station, we have the pink Protoss player, the Polish Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes, and also his team, as I believe he's the team captain, Obrońcy. It is Art. Obrońcy? And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. Actually, what if I do... In the top left-hand corner, we have the Polish, typically Protoss player, but he has to off-race here in this team league. For Streamer Zone, the Terran player instead, it is Gerald. Let's go. Now, what is Gangnam Terran? Well, this is one of actually many maps in the history of StarCraft, but I believe this is the first one where the goal base is close enough to the main where Terran players, they would just lift. They would lift their main base, they would float it over to the gold, and on top of that, the gold base isn't just close to the main, so you can just float over and just take the gold immediately at the start of the game. The rush distance by ground of this map is very short, so you take the gold and then you go into like a 3 or 4 racks all in, like a 4 racks mass marine all in, and just send it across the map. Okay. I heard something lifting, and so that was called the Gangnam Terran. The reason why it's called Gangnam Terran, one, it was started in Korea, and Gangnam is a region or a district in Korea where all the rich people are. That's why Psy's song is called Gangnam Style. It's like you know, rich person style. So that's where all the rich people are. So, you know, rushing into the gold straight away. That's what they call it, the Gangnam Terran back. Aye. Unfortunately, Gerald won't be doing that here, but that is where that build originated, and following this map pool, there were other map pools where the goal base was also similarly close by, and you could also lift and land and take it early on as a Terran. Eventually, that was phased out, and nowadays the goal base is much further away. It's been a very long time since we've seen like a proper Gangnam Terran. It's been many years actually, but you know, it's one of those things that's kind of burned into my skull and burned into my memory. It's yeah, good times. Aye. As Art is just going for a gate expand. Standard opener here out of Arts. Meanwhile, Gerald's going for his own Rax expand into a 3 Rax follow-up. Now, I do like this build on this map. 3 Raxes are very aggressive. It's a very aggressive build here by Gerald. And I did just mention short rush distance by ground. Again, by air and by ground as well. So, doesn't take long at all to get across the map. So you can be hyper aggressive. There is a Xel'Naga. I have to also get rid of the turtle, but there is a Xel'Naga here in the center of the map, so Art can get a bit of a heads up. Likewise, Xel'Naga also tells you if the goal base has been taken as well. Do appreciate it. There are also these southern bases. If you can survive on 2 and then 3, then you can cut the map in half vertically. That is true. You can try to get to that game state. God, but the nostalgia on Habitation Station. Oh my god. It's been so long. I miss it so much. Meanwhile, Art's going for a Robo Opener. Okay, you have my attention. Now, a Robo Opener is just a very safe build. Art, he has not scouted the main, but he has seen all these Marines. Now, it could just be a 2-1-1. It could be 3CC, 3 racks as well. I don't know how familiar Art is with the off-race of Gerald, but a Robo Opener is exactly what you want. What I mean by that, it's a very safe way to play PvT. It gives you access to a fast Bay, gives you access to fast Colossus, and all you need is one Colossus, a shield battery, and a ramp, and you can defend against a wave of Marines with Stim. Like this Stim Bio Army can't really break a player that rushes into Colossus. Without Colossus, it could be a difficult defense. We're going to have to rely on force fields. Sentries, force fields, specifically making use of this ramp. Meanwhile, Gerald, he's already embracing the map. He's already getting map control, skirting around the edge, building up more Marines. Meanwhile, the Observer does dive in, and it looks like with this scout, yep, RT confirms. He's now fully aware of the 3 racks. He knows what's going on. Bam! Bay. Straight away, Robotics Bay gets thrown down. As we mentioned, this is for the Colossus. Because it was a Robo Opener, you have access to the fast Bay, fast Colossus, and that will shut Bio down. Now, I believe that this should still hit before the first Colossus pops. I think the Bay is late. The Bay is a little bit later than otherwise because of this initial harass here with the War Prism. So it's still going to be a tough hold for RT. He's throwing down shield batteries as we speak. Storm Crusade dropping to the main, and this will be buying time. Gets 2, soon to be 3 SCV kills. Up to 4. Almost up to 5. Yeah, and Gerald is forced to turn around. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Art. Again, Art, remember, he is gunning. He is just waiting and buying time for that Colossus. Meanwhile, Gerald, he does actually stim into the mineral line. Not bad. Goes straight for the probes. That's going to be 3 probes going down. He's getting 4. He's getting 5. Oh my god, getting up to 6. 6, 7 probes do fall, but at the same time, Stalkers are still wreaking havoc across the map, still going for more SCV kills. He's still getting a lot done. The first Colossus is halfway done. It's almost there. Gerald, he's pushing. And he's got it. He has to send it. He's checking the gold. There's nothing. There's no gold. More SCVs getting picked up. And Gerald, he does not pull the trigger. He pulls away, which means the Colossus has arrived, and Art holds. Art does hold. Art, he's got a sentry, has force fields. He will protect his natural, but can he defend his third? That is the question. Gerald, he rotates around, and I believe he should be able to contain Art on 2 bases. Jesus, meanwhile, the Prism Micro. Calm down. Art, he's still being active, getting another SCV. Gerald, he moves out, he spots the worker. Still hoping and waiting for a Nexus. Will delay, but won't force a cancel. Art is being forced out into the open. Gerald, does he dive? Oh! Oh, not quite. Yeah, he forced back. Has to retreat. Gets a couple of Zealots. Meanwhile, the Prism is still... Oh, God. It's still wreaking havoc. Gets a Marauder. Not like this. Gets a Marauder. Gets a couple more workers. Gerald is getting pulled apart. And, I mean, the pressure is on Gerald right now. Oh, my God. The Mind Shot doesn't quite go off. But his team has been struggling. You know, Gerald, he's down 0-2 in this best of 7. He needs to fight back for himself, for his team, for his boys. For the station. Oh, my God. As the Prism is forced back. And Art is now taking his third, and Gerald is still on 2 bases. Third CC is almost done. Now, Gerald can take the gold and try to take advantage of that. It's true, but he's lost so many workers. I'm afraid to look here. How many have gone down? 13. 13 SCV kills, 12 Marines, 3 Marauders. So much value here. What has Art lost? 1 Stalker. 1 Stalker. Like, the Zealots are negligible. Sure, a couple of probes across the map earlier. Oh my god. But Art, he's so delicate with his micro. Pulls away in time. He's up to 3 Colossus. He's getting a 4th? Jesus. A little bit of overkill, getting a 4th Colossus, but why not? Oh, the lasers back. Gerald's not taking his 3rd. Art has eyes on the army. He's moving out, and he can take the fight. He can shut this down. Where are the Medivacs? Medivac production has begun, but there's no support for the army. And Art, he's still going to push in. Colossus, they go ham here on the bunker. Boys are being pulled to repair. Not in time. Oh, actually, just in time. And repairs are pretty good. Oh god, force fields are brutal. Just cutting the map in half. And that bunker, it does eventually go down. Yeah, Gerald, he's just running out of resources. Being contained on 2 bases. My shot goes up. Ooh, nice dodge from Art. Does avoid. Boys are being pulled into 4 Colossus. The 4th Colossus has arrived. Nice shuttling. Then a single one goes down. GG gets called, and Art will take the game and will extend the lead for his team. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, Gerald, he is left behind. He is dropped off at Habitation Station, and he will not be able to get back on this train as we're going to our next stop. What is up next? Where are we going? Where are we headed? We're headed to the infamous Infestation. The 2v2, Papi, the 2v2, let's go. But again, when it came to Gerald's build, I was fond of it. I mentioned at the time going for a 3-axe does make a lot of sense. Unfortunately, he was scouted, he was found out, he was having such a hard time dealing with that war prism and with the harassment. He was just always stuck reacting to the prism instead of trying to keep up with it. His starport was delayed, no Viking, no medevacs, no drop play, like, it was just... Art was all over him. Art was all over him. I mean, Art is the captain of his team. And, alas, he is driving the train. He's leading it to victory, to their final destination, their final station, if you will. But before that, we have our 2v2. We have our 2v2. One moment here. Again, we're going to be loading into Infestation. It's going to be a 2v2 between Art and PAPI. Oh, 2 very strong Protoss players up against Gerald and Nanian. Oh, boy. Here we go. Those bar bailings of 100% for sure. I have to update my BIOS. Was it on there? Take care, Pac. Take care. Take care. But here we go. We're getting into our best of 2. Oh boy. And spawning in the center right half of the map of Infestation, we have our Protoss Polish duo. We have our pink Protoss and our red Protoss. We have Art and PAPI. For Team Obrońcy. And spawning in the center left half of the map of Infestation, we have a duo that has a lot of catching up to do here. They are down 0-3 in this series. There we go. 0-3 in the series. It is going to be the Polish Terran and Polish Protoss. It is going to be Gerald and Nanian. Our team, Burzowi. Let's go. Oh, Gerald's telling his teammate to probe scouts. This also tells us, I imagine saying to probe translations would be ideal. As the probes are being sent out across the map. Oh, I remember this map. Oh, I played on this map. Let's go. Now, this is a very unique map. First things first, we're cut off. We are cut off from each other. Yep, Gerald, he just realized. You cannot work or scout on this map. There are rocks. There are rocks here on the right, and there are rocks in the center. You have to knock down the rocks to actually gain access to your opponent via the ground. But these probes, they have a mission, and this looks like proxy Stargate. Like, how do you... Actually, never mind. Could be a couple different things. Now, there are rocks leading right into the main. As you can see here, these rocks do lead into the main base. This map was in the ladder map pool back in the day. And if these rocks get knocked down, then you gain access to the main, of course. This could be proxy Stargate to lay siege upon these bases with Void Rays, or proxy Robo Immortal, where Immortals can knock down these rocks and bust into the main. So, the 2 Protoss players, they have options. PAPI and Art, they do have options with what they want to proxy, how they want to approach this. Cyber cores are on the way for their eventual either Stargate or Robo. And meanwhile, Gerald and Nanian, they are none the wiser. We see a 2-gate opener here out of our yellow Protoss. We do see a Rax expand out of Gerald. Economic opener by the Terran player. Meanwhile, what looks to be a bit of a more aggressive opener here by the Protoss, but we can't really be too aggressive. And what is it? Stargate. Makes sense. So it's going to be proxy Stargate. Should be mass Void Ray. I guess it could also be Oracles just to get into the mineral line a little bit faster and eviscerate the economy. There are options here for PAPI and Art. You're all animals. You're all animals. Polish is easy, is it? Ah. Oh, no. Not like this. Yeah, man. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. But here we go. Starports are finishing up, and what's it going to be? Is it going to be Oracle or Void Ray Oracle? Okay, it's going to be Mass Oracle. Now, Oracles, they produce faster, they move faster as well, and they can very quickly get into the mineral lines and eviscerate the economy. Now, who do they go for? Do they gang up on the Protoss or the Terran? Who is the biggest threat? If Gerald was playing his main race, I would say Gerald is the biggest threat, but, you know, maybe Nanian is actually a stronger Protoss player than Gerald's Terran. What do they go for? Meanwhile, both players are still expanding back at home. Hallucination will confirm. Will confirm the expansions. Both players are building up. And here come the Oracles. Yeah, they're going for it now. Oh, the Wind Mine. Oh, Mind Shell goes off. Big. Oh my god, massive connection. Easy. I mean, it was still 6 probe kills, but very nicely done. Oh my god, the IQ play. Gerald was in position, he read them like a book, didn't even scout across the map. I mean, now they know that, of course, the tech is missing. And now I'm concerned for Art and PAPI. That was a big investment, big commitment so far. I mean, we have 2 more Oracles. Is there another Widowmine here? There is! There's another Widowmine here next to the gas geyser. There's a Widowmine next to the gas. Meanwhile, no Widowmine here at the natural. Did you head on? The Mind Shell! Oh, once again? See, Gerald, because his main race is Protoss, he knows how to think like a Protoss PAPI. He's like, mate, what are these apes gonna do? I know what they're gonna do. He sets up the Widowmines, he shuts down the Oracles, very nicely done. And with that, our duo here, our duo that have been behind in this series so far, they have potential, they have momentum, they have a better economy, they have their natural race getting saturated. Ooh, but another Oracle, with the same Oracle does hit the natural. And Gerald's economy is still gonna be, oh my god! He's ready for everything. He's crazy. He's cracked. He's lost his mind. Mind shot across the map. Mind drop even. He's everywhere. The Widow Mines. He's like, mate, playing Terran. Oh my god, massive connection. 7 more probes go down. Geralt, he's lost his mind. He's popping off. He's like, mate, why do these Terran players just make Widow Mines all the time? It's broken. True. I mean, that's why Gerald does it. He knows. He knows the power of the Widowmine. Aye. Art and PAPI, they know too. They can. If they didn't before, they know now. You know, maybe we can send this replay to Spirits. Maybe we can teach Piotr how to play Terran. Kappa. Oh my god. As Gerald is taking a 3rd CC, getting up and running, building his SCVs, and getting his buyers set up as well. Meanwhile, Nanian has been chilling out, also focusing on a gateway-based composition. No Robo yet, the Robo's still on the way. Did research Blink, so it's going to be Blink Stalkers from Nanian and a Bio Tank from Gerald. Meanwhile, Art and PAPI back at home, they're working towards their own Blink Stalker production. Bay is on the way from Art, so Art is working towards Colossus, but he's still not quite there yet, as another Widowmine drop does come into the natural. PAPI does pull away. Oh, leading out a sentry. Brutal. You say very good, dzień dobry. No. Dzięki, PAPI, dzięki. Dziękuję. As the Widowmines, they do rotate towards the backside here, towards that natural base of Art. They're going to be pinned back, and here comes the main army towards the 3rd base of PAPI, towards the south. Rocks have been knocked down, and Geralt and Nanian, after they knock down this base, they can go straight to the main. They can go for the main base. Art's out of position. The army's not where it needs to be. Does scan ahead of time, sees there's nothing there. Base is denied, and they can push it. Send it, PAPI, send it. Send it in. PAPI's trying to get ready. Does have the high ground. Does have force fields. Force fields get thrown down. The tank is within range. Massive tank shots going off. Oh, thank you, Gary. Thank you. The anniversary. As Nanian and Geralt, they are pushing forward. They're broken the main. Yeah, they're simming on in. They shut down more of these stalkers. The tank doing so much damage in the back line. Oh, the overcharge will help them hold the line, though. Art, he's holding. Overcharge has to be respected. Geralt's running out of units here, but the Immortal goes down. Oh, no shield battery here on the left-hand side. No overcharge. And PAPI is struggling. Disruptor has arrived. Not Colossus. And you can see Geralt and Nanian, they're expanding behind this. taking more bases, keeping up the momentum. End up shading to mineral lines. Here comes over to Nova. Oh no! Ooh, not quite paying attention. Nova does connect. A good start here for Art. Art does have the supply lead individually. Has a little Stalkers. Immortal goes down. Robo's being camped. The tank is still a little bit too far behind. Ludo does get a shot off. The rest of the Biostims in. Second Disruptor has arrived. Nova goes up. And it does feel like Nanian and Gerald are running out of steam a little bit here. We need more reinforcements. Por favor. It looks like Gerald, he's signaling Nanian to retreat. Okay, they're backing off. Pulling away for now. Arch has broken out. Ooh, catching out Nanian. Not bad. Once again, a little bit indecision here where Art backs off. PAPI kept pushing. I would imagine they're in voice together, by the way. Like, based on the fact that Art and PAPI aren't texting. Like, I think they're in Discord. Likewise, taking more expansions. Go to Nanian, pulling back for now. And it looks like the Protoss team, they're holding. They're stabilizing. They are slowly stabilizing here. PAPI is still one step behind, is what I will say. Like, he's taken the main brunt of these pushes. When it comes to losing his production, losing his army, he lost the Robo, lost a lot of workers earlier as well. Gerald is going to be rotating instead. Knocking down those rocks. Alright, he does break out for a moment. And these northern bases, they are exposed. There's going to be a recall. Just recalling a handful of units. Art's not quite in position. And Gerald, he commits. Likewise, Nanian not too far behind him. And Gerald, he can break this. He's stepping in. Catching out the Stalkers. And there's no recall for Art. And PAPI's recall's on cooldown. He's going for a counterattack. Yeah, Art, he's going for a massive counterattack instead. Nanian is not at home to defend, but he can recall. Does Nanian recall? The zero overcharge cannons are going down, so will the base. He has to make a choice. He commits. And trading a base for a base. Pushing forward, engages with PAPI. Hey, PAPI. Oof. Archon goes down. And Gerald, he turns back around. Gerald does turn around. Nanian, he commits. Oh, okay, Gerald, he's committing as well. The Nova! Never goes off. Art turns around. But again, Art, he's still a ways away. His main army is still rotating. Gerald, he sims in, catches a disruptor. Pushing forward, so many disruptors here for Nanian. Oh no! Oof, never goes off, doesn't quite connect. And Nanian, he holds his own. Dives on the Colossus. And disruptors are going down. Gerald, he does have a decent concave here. And it looks like they break through. The Protoss do it, they just don't have enough, they were pulled apart. Again, Art just couldn't recall earlier, he had to give it to the base trade. He arrived here too late, PAPI just couldn't hold his own. And it looks like finally, Gerald and Nanian, they're going to be able to take a map for their team. It's been a rough series so far for them. It's been rough, but GG gets called. PAPI and Art, they tap out, and Gerald and Nanian, they do put a point on the board. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Finally, they do put a point on the board for themselves, for their team, for Burzowi. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I don't. But GG, well played. They do fight back. Again, it was a really... I mean, I wasn't opposed to the start of the game for Art and PAPI to go for the proxy, 2-gate, double Stargate even, to go for the Oracles, but Gerald, he was all over it with the Widowmine positioning. He shut down, like, what was it, 4 Oracles back to back to back. He just completely shut them down. He was able to counterattack across the map. He crippled the economy of PAPI. Gerald, he was just all over it, really showcasing his prowess of Terran. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive stuff there. Kind of Gerald leading the charge against the Protoss duo of Art and PAPI. What's impressive as well is that Art and PAPI, of course, their main races are Protoss. They are very strong Protoss as well. They are quite comparable to Gerald when it comes to their skill. Despite that, we're quite able to survive, and yeah, with that, GG. GG, well played. Oh, and the question becomes, where are we going next? Where are we going next here as Art, he is left behind. He is dropped off at Infestation. And up next, ooh, we have a very old school map, also very renowned as well. Up next, we are hopping over to King Sejong Station. Oh my god, let's go. A very infamous map. I still recall watching, oh god, what was it? Was it MMA? Was it MMA versus, oof, I don't quite recall, but I remember a bunch of BlizzCons. I remember a bunch of BlizzCons here on this map. On at King Sejong Station. It's been quite some time. Let's jump in. What would have this have been? Like 2017? No. I'm thinking 2017. Let's see. This was in the map pool, once again, 1 year off, or I guess a couple of months. This was 2016. I was thinking BlizzCon 2016. I was thinking it. God damn it. But it was 2016. It was around May to November. And I think BlizzCon was in November, right? It was like October, November was BlizzCon. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of King Sejong Station, we have the pink Terran player from the land of Poland, representing his team, representing Team Burzowi. As they do begin their comeback, it is Flexy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the other Polish Terran player, the orange Terran, representing Bing Bong Exports, and also his team, Obrońcy. It is INno. Not quite innovation. You know, he's like a third of innovation, or maybe half. He's getting there. As we are settling in. But again, this is also a very renowned map as well. As I did mention, was back in the map pool of 2016, many years ago. I do recall, I mean, this was in the map pool during BlizzCon of that year as well, infamously. And some of the features, of course, are the fact that you can knock down these rocks, you can gain access to this left-hand side of the map. This left-hand base is also vulnerable to this cliff face. This is a feature that we don't see anymore, but basically just like this terrain specifically designed to set up for drop play or tank positions as well to lay siege upon the base on the low ground. This is, yeah, something that you don't really see too often anymore. I remember going over some TLMC maps and being excited to see this once again. This was like last year, but they never quite made it through. That is on both sides. On both sides, we have these kind of little alleyways that can harass and that can deny mining. Likewise, you have the center base as well, which can be quite defendable. I still have to get rid of the turtle. God damn it. I'll get around to it. We have the center base, which has, of course, ramps leading down to the center of the map, which can be quite defendable, quite fortifiable. And you also knock down these rocks as well, as these are rock towers, which you knock down to wall off the ramp. Oh boy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this was in the map pool when tank evacs were still a thing. I remember tank evac play on King Sejong. For those that remember tank evacs, maybe if you're a bit of a newer viewer of StarCraft, basically in early Legacy of the Void, you used to be able to lift and land siege tanks. Like nowadays, you have to unsiege the tank to lift it. Before, you wouldn't have to. You could just instantly pick it up and instantly drop it as well. So it had a lot of micro potential, as you can imagine. Insane micro potential. It also made it very difficult to kill tanks with Ling Bane because you could just lift them and land them. It was crazy. And there was a lot of like tank evac, like harass, tank evac micro as well, as you can imagine. It was insane, and I do recall that being a big feature of King Sejong Station as well. Could be mistaken, but I believe that was in the same era. Aye. It's all burned into my skull. I mean, I remember like staying up. I pulled an all-nighter. As you can imagine, BlizzCon is at an awful time in Australia. But whenever BlizzCon would come around, I would just like buy a bunch of like Red Bulls, you know, get a bunch of caffeine, and just not sleep at all the weekend of BlizzCon, or just ruin my sleep schedule just so I could watch, just so I could, you know, tune in and embrace BlizzCon. Right, it was, yeah, of course. As Reaper, as they do dive into the main, gonna be harassing. Again, we do have our initial tank production. It was double gas opener here out of INno, but both players are just embracing their 2-base setup. Eventually, as you can imagine, tank evacs were removed from Legacy, from StarCraft. Oh my god, the medevac! Medevac takes a lot of hits. Flexy is able to keep up. Does push forward. Gets the medevac. Will get away. Whew, just barely in time. I believe it's on the pillar. No, it's not on the pillar! Barely not on the high ground. The medevac goes down, and INno does take the better trade. Does take the better fight. Whew. With that, he pulls back. Meanwhile, across the map, Reapers, they get into the mineral line. Again, there is a Reaper cliff going straight into the main from the left-hand side. So the Reapers do slip in. They get a full scout. They get eyes on the 3rd TC and the raid production. So Flexy is more or less aware of the build. He's more or less aware that INno is building up towards an economy, towards a longer game state. Flexy has yet to throw down his own 3rd TC. He knows that he's behind in the building of the 3rd, and Flexy now does start. Now does begin his own 3rd base. Command Center is now underway, and we might be here for a little bit longer. We're going to be looking to embrace a longer game state. But what I was going to quickly say about tank evacs was that it's made TBT really chaotic. Like, Terran versus Terran was very chaotic because as you can imagine, as it currently is in TBT, it's all about tank positions. It's all about tank positional play. But back in the day, because of you know, tank evacs, you would have all your tanks with medevacs all like lifted, and you'd just be looking to land on your opponents. And whoever landed their tanks first would win the fight. Like, it was just very chaotic, you know, just looking for that moment to like dive in, to unload your tanks. And likewise, it was just very, yeah, it's not something that many people enjoyed, which is another reason as to why eventually they got rid of it. But it was very intense. It was very intense. Yeah. As Liberator does arrive, gets 5 SCVs. Let's get 5 workers across the map, not too bad. Flexy taking a pretty hefty economic advantage, up 10 workers. Meanwhile, you can see here that because Flexy knows that his 3rd base is later than his opponent's, he doesn't even morph in the orbital. He does float instantly over towards the 3rd to take advantage of it and to try to catch up. I mean, he's already exceeded INno when it comes to the worker count. Meanwhile, a shout out to Blarg. Yeah, Papi, thank you so much for the subscription. For 3 months of support. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. As INno does move out. Does have his Ravens ready. Disable's research. What's interesting to me is that Flexy never made any Ravens. And no Ravens were made. His tanks are looking quite exposed. There's no Vikings either. INno, he's tempted. He scans. He sees the tanks. Does spot them. And does he commit? I mean, that is still 5 tanks. He rotates around instead. He's going for the 3rd. And he will force a lift. Flexy getting in position. Barely out of range. And it does pull away. Legit one of the worst changes ever. Cool idea, but removing the core weakness of main unit did kind of ruin the game. I mean, I would say as a viewer, it was exciting because there was obviously more maneuverability and more micro ability with the tank. And again, TVT became, instead of it being like these slow siege lines, it just became like, it would be over in an instant. It was, it was just very intense and very chaotic. And on the one hand, I would say that there was definitely some enjoyment there as a viewer, but definitely like as a player and for the health of the game, it was not a good thing. It was not a good thing. So again, thankfully they got rid of it eventually. As Flexy does go for a double jump across the map. Into the main, doesn't quite get much done though. Heads over towards the third, where INno is out of position. Slow position, SCVs are gonna fall. His entire army gets dragged back home, actually. Oof. The army gets dragged back. Boys are being pulled away. 12 SCVs go down. 13 worker kills. And just like that, Flexy takes a massive economic lead. Now he has yet to re-land his third. There's still that one tank in position, but it's only one tank. And Flexy, he can't clean it up. It's crazy. It was crazy times. Crazy. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, that was also back with like the previous Adept, which could like bounce, if you recall, where Glaives, instead of like increasing its attack rate and attack speed, it would bounce and do splash damage. So wild. Oh god. Because of that, they were actually viable against Terran as well. As Flexy breaks out, gets a tank. Oh, we do see, preemptively disabling some of those tanks. Gets two, but only two. And there's still just too many tanks. Massive tank volleys going off, and Flexy takes the fight, shuts down the army. Ooh, punishes INno. And now he lost his advantage. Like, the big advantage that INno had were those two Ravens. The Ravens, they had so much potential to slowly over time take better fights, to disable those tanks. Alas, the Ravens were thrown away. And INno, he's forced back. He still has the worst economy. Now a smaller army. And Flexy, he goes in for another double drop into the main. INno having a hard time keeping up. Oh, they're losing two SCVs. The lock-ons! Oh my god. The lock-ons are broken. Double drop towards the third. But INno, he does keep up. Doesn't really lose much of anything. Two SCVs. Only two. So very nice cleanup. Flexy still being active, moving out of his main army. Another double drop towards the left. But INno, he is looking to stabilize. So players are taking more expansions, and Flexy, he does refuse to move out with his main army. What I also find really interesting is that neither one is going for any kind of big air control. No one is going to Viking production. As I say that, two Vikings now on the way for INno. Vikings are on the way. Medevac goes down. Double drop back into the main. Finally. This is the third time that two Medevacs have gone into the main base, and turrets are now going to be thrown down. I mean, they were just denied. But I'm sure INno, it's on his mind. Oh, as SCVs are falling, this time much more damage. 10 SCV kills, Medevacs they get away, and Flexy does now commit with his main army, pushing right through the center. And he has options. Does he go for the third, or does he go for the natural? The main armies, they do spot each other. INno is the first to siege. Fire sims in. Oh my god. They're taking a lot of hits from the tanks. Ooh, as there's no scan. A late scan there from Flexy. INno's keeping up. Shuts down the drop in his main. Tank lines stare each other down. Ooh. Now the tank falls. You can see Flexy, he does rotate. Does pull back. Getting a fourth. Getting a better economy. Dropping back into the main once again. But Flexy's about to max. He's about to max out. Now, despite that, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to be able to break the main army. With good positional play, with good SimCity, INno can still claim a fight, but it's going to be difficult. Not going to be easy. He has to rely on Flexy overextending. He does have to rely on that. Drop back into the main, more SCVs going down. Flexy's almost maxed, but again, pushing up this ramp, it's Flexy's gonna lose a lot of supply trying to do so. He'll lose a lot of army instead of going for a split push. I do like this. Splitting off towards the left to knock down those rocks. Splitting off towards the right. Tower's being knocked down. INno, he scans, he sees the army. Sees it rotating. Snoxtar under fire. INno, he misses the main force towards the right though. And Flexy does sneak up on the third. Tower goes down. CC as well. Marines, they do respond. But the tanks, they siege up behind this. Brutal fight for INno. GG gets caught. He gets pulled apart. And Flexy will take another game for his team. And fight back for... Oh God, what? Burzowi. GG. GG. But a blast from the past. Once again, it's great to, you know, have a bit of a vacation and visit King Sejong Station here. Was a great, just a great kind of trip down memory lane to go through King Sejong Station again. Just so many historic games that were played on that map, and great to see it again. Congratulations to Flexy. Again, Flexy did seem like he just had a little bit more attention. He was able to pull apart the attention of his opponent. I should emphasize, you know, with his drop play, with his movements, with his pushes as well. INno did have some good moments, but if you recall, we saw him lose a little momentum when he lost his Ravens, and you know, from there he was just falling behind in workers, behind in bases, and in the end, GG, well played. Flexy does take it, and now we're getting ready for our next game. We're getting ready for, I was gonna say a PvP, a PvZ actually, between PAPI and Krystianer. Let's go. Oh, we're going to be heading off here from King Sejong Station. Up next, we have Vani Research Station. Oh boy, once again, it has been quite some time. I believe Vani Research Station is a little bit newer than King Sejong. I want to say 2018. Do I want to say 2018? No. Yes. I'll say 2018. Let's see. Vani Research Station. I've always been a year off. God damn it. 2017. God damn it. Wait, this map was in the map pool for like 2 months? 3 months? This was in the latter map pool this was during the off season. This was 2016 to 2017. It was November of 2016 to January of 2017. Oh, okay. This was in the dream pool, right? Yeah, this was in the dream pool. I remember. Oh my god. So for those who do not know, there was, I'm pretty sure it was this period. I'm pretty sure it was this period in time. From 2016 to 2017, there was the dream pool, where they brought back old maps. They brought back old maps into the map pool just for a couple of months, just for the off season, basically, to have some fun. Just to like have a break from things. I've always wanted them to bring back the concept of a dream pool during the off season, not gonna lie, but just because, you know, all these we've had so many maps over the history of StarCraft, right? Over the course of StarCraft, there have been so many maps, and after we're done with them, we never see them again, right? It feels like kind of a waste. You know, a lot of work and effort was put into these maps whenever they were initially made, and we never get to see them again. So the idea of a dream pool has always been like appealing to me. Not necessarily the most like kind of balance of things, right? Like, because you know, the meta does shift over time, and some of the maps are a little bit outdated and might have some outdated concepts as well. True, but that's also why it's during the off season, where, you know, there wouldn't be any big competitive tournaments going on. This would be the period in between BlizzCon and IM Katowice. Bring back Zelnaga Caverns. Oh god. As here we go. We are setting things up, and we're getting ready for our PVZ. Let's go. What map do I miss? Was it Redshift? No. Was it Blood Boil? There was like a nice like snow white and red map, which I liked visually and aesthetically back in the day. But regardless, here we go. We're getting into our next best of one. Welcome, one and all, Tavani Research Station. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss. We saw him previously in the 2v2, but now he's on his own. For Berserker Esports, also for Team Obrońcy, it is PAPI. Obrońcy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, or the northern half of the map, we have the blue Zerg player. The Polish Zerg representing clan SWS, nowadays though representing Offside Esports, and also representing Burzowi, it is Krystianer. His team have begun the comeback. Both Flexy, Gerald, and Nanian, they've been able to put some points on the board. And can we tie things up? Can we force the ace match? We are close, but the pressure is on Krystianer. Meanwhile, PAPI is going to be moving out. There's the initial GLA chef. This is a concept that we don't really have anymore, like these vertical maps, right? You can see on the minimap that that it's a little bit longer than it is wider, of course. Something we don't see too often. Do you have the center Zelnaga? Do you have Krystianer going for the hatch gas pool, standard opener? And once again, we have pocket bases. Again, this is a concept that I guess was a little bit more prevalent back in the day. We rarely get them nowadays. I mean, I guess we have, you know, post-youth, but we have to talk about post-youth. Nah. But here we go. Actually, I'm like pulling back to the recesses of my mind. If I'm not mistaken, I believe when this map was in Heart of the Swarm, I'm pretty sure I've seen Swarmhost versus Swarmhost on this map. I'm pretty sure I've seen either Swarmhost versus Swarmhost, or I want to say maybe Swarm, like ZVP, like late game, like Snoot versus maybe like Stefano or something. This would have been what, back in 2015? No, sorry, 2014, 2015. I think this was in the era of the old Swarmhost. Like, looking at this center of the map, I remember seeing Locust Waves. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing Locust Waves flying through here. Ah, no. I think I remember seeing Muta play as well. God, I have to get rid of the turtle. Ay. Why am I playing on a map with a safe third base again? I mean, yeah, I mean, with a pocket base as your natural, with this base as well, it means that it's going to be that much more difficult here for the Zerg player to punish the expansions of the Protoss. I mean, that's the advantage of pocket bases, right? But here we go. We have Krystianer taking his own third. Still, he is avoiding that pocket base, saving it for later. And building up. Meanwhile, PAPI going for a Void Ray opener. Of course, PAPI, he's playing his main race. For those that are curious why Krystianer is off racing, Gerald had to off race as well. Basically, if when it comes to this team league, for the players that were a little bit too high in skill, they were not allowed to play their main race. So Gerald and Krystianer could not play Protoss. So coming into this, like, this is where I favor players like PAPI or players like Art. Adept shades in, gets one drone, not bad. Oh, we're not quite getting a second. Oh. Oh god, it's getting so close. 4 spores get morphed in. Krystianer, did he skip his links? He did. He's crazy. He skipped his links. He killed the adept with just the queen. Did shut it down. And he's just been droning. Krystianer, he's been doing nothing but droning. Even skipping link speed. Wait, what? Link speed has not begun for Krystianer, so I'm curious if he's going into fast roaches, if he's rushing into a fast lair and maybe going into Muta play. This is kind of odd though. Void Ray has arrived. So far, just queens for Krystianer. Like, I'm not too confident cutting corners like this against PAPI of all players. Like, PAPI's pretty good. May have lost a 2v2, but I mean, that was 2v2. Void Ray, ooh, does not get the Overlord. Krystianer does hold. Likewise, Oracle in from the left-hand side, getting to the mineral line. Gets 1, gets 2 drones, gets 3 drones even. Ooh, 4, 5 drones, 6 drones. Oh, 6 workers going down. 7. Someone stop the 8 drones. Stop this man. He gets 8 workers, no spore here at the third. Krystianer, he gets punished, and he is rushing into the lair. Okay, so clearly he has a plan. Clearly, it was intentional that Krystianer, he did skip link speed, and I would imagine he wants to go into Mutaplay. I would imagine. Oh, never mind. Taking extra gases, Roach Warren. It's going to be Roach Warren, going to be an Evo Chamber as well. Looks like he is getting into Roach production instead, but it's going to take a while for him to really get things going. And back at home, PAPI is just happily probing. Happily probing up, saturating his bases. Getting to his own follow-up here with a Forge, Twilight Council, Robo, all of his upgrades. Oh! Oracles, they dive back in. Adepts from the left-hand side, sorry, from the right. 5 more drone kills. 1 Oracle finally goes down, but Krystianer is getting pulled apart. The Adepts, they just wreak havoc in the middle line. 9 drone kills. Oh my god, he's popping off. He's not done. Still no spores? No, Sean. Where are the spores? 0 spores for Krystianer. He gets punished so hard for it. 12 drones go down. Krystianer, in his mind, he's like, but queens are broken. Why are my queens not killing everything? Oh, no. As the Oracles, they kill everything instead. 17 drones go down. Just make more queen, Kappa. Just make more queen. Copium. 17 drone kills. Looking at the insults tab, 26 drones going down. For what? For 1 Oracle, for 4 Adepts, 1 Void Ray. Finally, we get 2 spores at the natural and at the third, but the damage has been done. And PAPI is building up. He's taking up into Charged Archon. Now, what I will say is that PAPI doesn't really have much of an army to work with, but he has been quite greedy. He's fully saturated on 3 bases. Krystianer, he re-drones. You may be thinking, oh, Krystianer, oh god, oh no. Hold that thought. As another 4 drones fall, still no spore in the main. What I was going to say, you may be thinking, oh, but Krystianer, you know, he's been able to drone up once again up to 68, like he has a comparable worker count. True. But Krystianer, ideally, the Zerg player wants to be up in bases and up in economy, up in workers against a Protoss. On top of that, because of all the dead workers, all the lava has been spent on redroning. And that means that the ground army here of Krystianer, it's lackluster. There's barely an army. It's slowly building up, but PAPI, he is in control for the time being. He's building up, getting to more Immortals, more Archons. I would say that all PAPI has to do is just chill. Just chill out and build up. He is pushing, though, and that I'm a little bit concerned by. I don't think it's quite necessary for PAPI to move in. But with the arrival of the War Prism, looks like he wants to push. He wants to attack. Yeah, he's moving out. And we'll see if Krystianer can hold. He's morphing in a lot of Ravagers. This area is wide open, very wide open as well. Where's the Prism? PAPI, he does push in, but I don't think he can take this fight. Oracles are coming from behind. Oh, the piles up. Oh my god, they rain down on the army, and you can see here, PAPI, he's being caught with his pants down. He should not have been out here. Like, he had to just chill back at home, turtle up, max out. Alas, he gets caught with his pants down, and now Krystianer, send it! He's all in. He's completely all in. There's no +2 behind this. There is Roach speed, but there's no +2. There's no droning. It's all Roach Ravager. The overcharge, premature. Premature overcharge. Krystianer, he backs off. Storm on the way. Who needs drones, PAPI? Who needs them? As Krystianer, he does push forward. Really, who even needs queens? Who needs them? Just lose all the drones. It's fine. It is fine as he's taking down the Archons one after the other. More Roaches, they come in to reinforce. And again, PAPI just has no support for the army. Like, we need more Zealots, more Stalkers, we need more buffer for the Archon Immortal. And Krystianer, he does it. He breaks through. The boys are being pulled. And Krystianer, he will completely shut this down. The workers, the Archons, there's 2 Immortals left. They're barely standing. And even if Krystianer gets forced back here, he does kill the economy. He does cripple the worker count here. 19 pro kills, gets the Immortal, and PAPI has almost nothing left. Oh my god, he has almost nothing left. He's fueling PAPI's hatred for Zerg now. He's achieved his goal. Let's go. As Krystianer, he will break the base, gets the Archons, Immortals, they juggle back. And from here, Krystianer can push into the main. He can just go straight for the main base, get on top of the production, get on top of the robo. He doesn't have to waste his time at the 4th. And he shouldn't. As he does push in. We'll take down the pylons. This is a soul-crushing game for PAPI as well. Like, he did so much economic damage across the map, but again, I think he just got too excited. He got too excited. He moved out when he really shouldn't have. And that is where Krystianer pops off. And you know what that means? Mate, we're going to our final destination, our final stop. GG gets called. Krystianer, he fights back. And we are going to the ace match. Let's go. We're going all the way to the final game of the series here. What station are we going to? Dasan Station. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Dasan Station. I'm trying to remember. This was back in Heart of the Swarm, right? Was it? God, I don't trust my memory anymore. I keep being like a year off. Was it? No. I'm gonna say, you know, a lot of these have been from I'm gonna say 2017. 2017. I'm gonna take a leap of faith. Oh god, but was it Heart of the Swarm? I can't remember. I can't remember. Let's find out. Dasan Station. God damn it. So I said 2017. 2016. God damn. 1 year off. 2016. It was actually, this was the same map pool as King Sejon Station. All the stations, PAPI, all the stations. So this was also BlizzCon of 2016. BlizzCon 2016 was Dasan Station. So close. But up next, it's going to be a Zerg versus Zerg matchup. ZVZ on Dasan Station. Let's go. It all ends here. It all ends in this final best of one. Oh boy. Again, shout out to Krystianer as well. Bearing in mind that I do rate PAPI's Protoss higher than Krystianer's Zerg, so a very big win. Winding back to that previous game, I do think that PAPI just got a little bit too excited. He got a little bit too cavalier. He was doing a lot of economic damage, and it looked like that he assumed that he would just go for the kill then and there. I do think he could have if he had gone for something like a 3-base, 8-gate all-in, but if you remember, he didn't go for a 3-base all-in. He went for a 4th. He was investing into a 4th base, into his economy, into more probes. He was pushing, but his move out was lackluster. He was lacking any real support for his Immortals and Archons. If you remember, he moved out with like 2 Archons and like 3 Immortals. Like, there was like barely an army to work with. It was crazy. So hey, calm down, PAPI, calm down. Ay. And here we go. We're getting into that final game, that final ZVZ. Oh boy. Really, this is the only way it could end. The final stop. No more stops here as we're getting into that final game, into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dasan Station. We have the do I remember this map? Is this the map where we played? Did we end up playing like a 4v4 on Dasan Station and then we kind of like broke it? Am I crazy? Is this the map where we played like an FFA? It was like a free for all, like 8 players on this map, and I think I remember spawning here. Am I crazy? Did I like spawn right here next to my opponent? Next to like Crank? Did that happen? I need Kuru to confirm. Did we play like a free for all on this map by accident? But here we go. In the bottom right hand corner, we have Snoxtar, the Polish Zerg player for Burzowi. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Poland representing his team. It is Obrońcy. I think it was a different map. Okay. It was a different map. Okay. Because I do recall a setup similar to this where we had 2 players spawn in right next to each other in an FFA. Regardless, welcome on along to Dasan Station. Ooh, no, yeah, you're right. I do remember this map, actually. We have the gold on the right-hand side. Now, something very important. We have gold bases that you can take as a natural, which is crazy. It's wild. You can just rush into a gold, but the rush distance by ground, it takes seconds. It's like a 10-second rush. Look at this. Look at this, PAPI. We can just walk in. So, Snoxtar, he goes for the gold, and Kurmis, he is here to deny it. The Lings have arrived. It was an early pull. Snoxtar going for a hatch first. No, okay, never mind. It was pull first. It was pull first here. Queens are on the way. Boys are being pulled. The Lings have arrived. And we'll see if Snoxtar can save the gold. Again, the rush distance by ground is crazy short on this map. So Lings are pushing in. Oh, my apologies. Kurmis is going, it looks like gas first. Looks like gas first here is going for his Baliness behind this as well into Link speed. Actually looks like a 13-12, my apologies. So 13-12 out of Kurmis. Meanwhile, Snoxtar going pool first. A much more defensive build here by Snoxtar. We'll see if he can survive. Again, considering the rush distance by ground, like I'm that much more concerned here for Snoxtar. Might be concerned. Works to saturate the gold. Queen has arrived. Second Queen's on the way. Third Queen's on the way. Bailey's are morphing in. Goodness needs a little bit more time. They're battling over the turtle. Let's go. Up. Bailey's don't get triggered. Big connection. Bit of miscontrol there by Snoxtar. He does miscontrol. Another connection here on 4 Lings. And Snoxtar, what does he have left? He has 2 Lings remaining. And Goodness, has he done it? Gets into mid-ride. Massive connections. Drones go down. The Queen as well. Yeah, the Queen should fall. Yeah, barely an economy. Up. Queen goes down. There are backup Queens on the way, but Snoxtar is down to 10 workers. He has a worse economy than that of the all-inning player. More Bailings on the way. Ooh, the Bailings are morphing in a little bit. Yeah, they're too exposed. They will be punished. Goodness does have the higher link count. He can take the fight. But he's being forced back. He needs Bailings. He does need some Bailings. He needs to morph them in. There we go. They're morphing in. Snoxtar gaining momentum. Spine crawlers on the way. Queens are willing across the map to the supply block. Queens, they catch an overlord. Ooh, rough move command. The slowlings are popping off, but here come the Bailings. Yeah, Goodness, he cannot lock down the army. He can trap it. There's no way out. Oh, he ignores it. Wait, what? He ignores the Lings. He's going across the map instead. He's crazy. Bailings are racing back home. They are racing back. Boys are being pulled away. Goodness, he commits, but there's a spine crawler back at home. And this may have been a mistake here for the Red Zerg. GG gets called, and Snoxtar, he holds. He holds back at home. Goodness, he made a rough call. He did make the wrong call there. The Lings pop off. He doesn't break the goal base, and Snoxtar, he does take the game in the series for his team. For Team Burzowi. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played, Snoxtar. He will take it again. It was a bold move for the red Zerg. Very bold move for Goodness to like deny to actually ignore the Lings. He ignored the Lings. He tried to go for a counterattack instead. He had enough to lock the Lings down. He could have surrounded, could have locked them down, could have pulled that off, but he chose not to. He chose not to in the end. And sorry, that was Kret even. My apologies. Kret. He chose to ignore the Lings. He went across the map, went for the all-in, but alas, Snoxtar, he had 3 Queens, he had a spine crawler as well. He was able to hold on, able to survive, and able to win it in the end. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Went the distance. Did go the distance here, but alas, we have our finalist. We have our second finalist here. Congratulations to Burzowi. Meanwhile, my condolences to, again, Burzowi? My condolences, they did go the distance. I was honestly favoring them. I was favoring them in this series because they have art and PAPI. And because I do rate them quite highly, I do think they had to, you know, lead their team to victory here. But PAPI did kind of fumble the ball against Krystianer. That was a big loss for PAPI, especially because he's meant to be one of the heavy hitters on his team. Did go down to Krystianer, and that allowed Snoxtar to clean things up at the end on Dasan Station. And with that, we have reached our final destination. You know, the road trip, the train trip has ended. We began, let's just go over it all, actually. Let's switch our scenes over and have a look at all the matches. Our journey began on Radisson Station, where we had Skunixx take the first game. We followed that up with Proxima Station, with Calmo continuing that lead, continuing the initial momentum that his team had, followed by Habitation Station, a very iconic map, very iconic to the history of StarCraft with art. And then we had the reverse sweep. The reverse sweep, it was a 3-0 lead. A 3-0 lead for Art's team. Art is the team captain. And they only needed one more. Only needed one more win. But last Burzowi, they popped off. They brought it back in the 2v2 on Infestation. The most infamous of all stations. They brought it back. Went into King Sejong, into Vani Research, and into Dasan Station at the end. Very impressive. GG. GG, well played. The comeback was real. The reverse sweep. And now we're getting ready for the grand finals. We are getting ready for the grand finals. Now, we will be going on a short break. We'll be going on a short break to actually set up for those finals. So we will need a couple of minutes here to get that ready. Take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, get some rest, and get ready for what's to come for the grand finals. I'm hoping that there's also a theme to the maps. I mean, we could just go on another road trip, right, and just go through all the stations again, or we could have something else. We'll see. We'll see. Shout out to Aristory, he was organizing this event, and I'm sure Aristory alongside Kashim are some of the people behind the map pool and which maps they chose. I love the theme of all the train stations. It's really fun. What's next? What's the next theme? We'll find out. We'll find out after the break. They have a lot to live up to. You know, they may have peaked too soon with the train stations. I'm concerned. But yes, we're going to be going on a 5-minute break. We'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon.